Acidic hazards of cataract surgery আর একটা টপিক হিসেবে দিবা। বড় টপিক, এটা বড় সময় ডিসকাস করা লাগবে। এর সাথে ও যদিও রেডি করেছে, যদি কেউ বলে তখন বা ওর হাতে সময় থাকে তখন কিছু স্লাইড দেখাইতে পারে। আমার মনে হয় যে সময়ও পাবে না আর ওটা দরকারও নাই।
জি স্যার, 60টা স্লাইড তো দেখানো টোটালি ইম্পসিবল। 8টা বিষয়ের মধ্যে স্যার শেষ করে দিতে হবে একে নিয়ে। আমি ওয়ার্নিং দিব, আমি মোটামুটি 5 মিনিট আগে ওয়ার্নিং দিব।
হ্যাঁ, তুমি ওয়ার্নিং দিও যাতে ও শেষ করে ফেলতে পারে।
স্যার তো ইয়া হলেও স্যার স্যার ঢুকছেন স্যার? সালাম স্যার।
জি সালাম স্যার।
ইসলাম ইয়ে আমরা যদি ওকে টাইম দেই, আমরা যদি সেক্ষেত্রে the time should be from the moment you start, not 8:20। আমি 8:10 শুরু করে 8:20 তাকে শেষ করাবো তা না। আমি যদি 8:05 শুরু করি, আমি তাকে 8:05 8:25 শেষ করাবো। ঠিক আছে? সেজন্য 20 মিনিট টাইম পাই ফর হিজ প্রেজেন্টেশন, বিকজ এটা একটা মোটামুটি বড় কন্টেন্ট অনেক কাটছাট করে 20 মিনিটে আনা হয়েছে। ঠিক আছে?
জি স্যার, জি স্যার।
8:01 মিনিট বাজে, মেবি আমরা 8:02 মিনিট পরে শুরু করে দিতে পারি। দেন ওই রেজিস্টার খেয়াল করবে, সেজন্য 20 মিনিট পরে একটা অ্যালার্ট পায়। আর আরেকটা জিনিস সৌম্য, আমার একটা অনুরোধ থাকলো, আসলে এটা একটা টপিক এমন যে সবাই এগুলো এক্সপেরিয়েন্স এবং সবাই কথা বলতে চাইবে, সবাই তাদের এক্সপেরিয়েন্স শেয়ার করতে চাইবে। আমরা চেষ্টা করব সব ফ্যাকাল্টিকে অনার করতে, বাট একটু উইথ জেন্টল পোলাইট রিমাইন্ডার যে স্যার একটু একটু সংক্ষেপে বলবেন, এটা আমরা একটু বলে দিব। ঠিক আছে? আর কেউ যদি প্রলং করে, আমরা পোলাইটলি তাকে বলবো যে স্যার আপনি একটু টাইম কনস্ট্যান্টের ব্যাপার।
স্যার মডারেটর স্যার, আমার মনে হয় স্যার শুরু করে দেন স্যার।
কয়জন জয়েন করছে?
স্যার এখন পর্যন্ত 33 জন।
স্যার 2-3 মিনিটের মধ্যে স্যার অল জয়েন করে ফেলেছে।
ওকে, তাহলে
চেয়ারম্যান সাহেব একটা কথা বলতে চাচ্ছি স্যার।
বলেন প্লিজ।
আচ্ছা শোনো, রেজিস্টার তোমাদেরকে বলতেছি, তোমরা স্টুডেন্টদেরকে বলে দেবা 8টা বাজার 5 মিনিট আগে সবাইকে রিড করতে হবে। তোমরা 8টা বাজার 10 মিনিট আগে দোকান খুলবা, হ্যাঁ জুয়ান করবা। ওরা 8টা বাজার 5 মিনিট আগে সবাই ঢুকতে হবে। তাদের জন্য কেন আমরা ওয়েট করবো? টাইমটা তো স্যার যেটা বলছেন, আমরা কেন ডিলে করবো? ডিলে হলে তো আরো ডিলে হয়ে যাবে। এই জন্য ঘরে থেকেই তো অ্যাটেন্ড করতে, কেন 8টার পরে জয়েন করবে তারা? রেজিস্টার চন্দন তুমি একটু বলে দিও, বুঝছো? আজকে
ওই লেট করলে দেরি হয়ে যাবে নাকি? হ্যাঁ জি স্যার।
স্যার আমরা শুরু করি মনে হয়। 43 I have already. So assalamu alaikum and a very good morning to everybody. I welcome you all in today's morning session. The topic is perioperative complications of the cataract surgery and its management. The topic will be presented by Dr. Bikash Paul, resident, National Institute of Ophthalmology, and the session will be chaired by Professor Anisuzzaman, the Professor of Cataract, National Institute of Ophthalmology, and the moderator will be me, Dr. S.M. Inamul Haq, Assistant Professor, Cornea Department, NIOH. So now, with the permission of the chair, I am requesting Dr. Bikash to present his topic.
Thank you, sir. Welcome to you all today's morning session. Today's topic is perioperative complications of cataract surgery and its management. And today's session chairman, Professor Dr. Muhammad Anisuzzaman, Professor, Department of Cataract, NION Days, and moderator Dr. S.M. Enamul Haq, Assistant Professor, Department of Cornea, NION Days, and presenter me myself, Dr. Bikash Chandra-Pal, MSSB resident. Perioperative complications of cataract surgery can be headed into complications of anesthesia and related to surgical procedure like during bridal suture, conjunctival peridomian cautery, bone construction, iris-related capsulorhexis, and hydrodissection, nucleus management, irrigation and aspiration, intraocular lens related, and wound closure. Now, bridal suture. Bridal suture is applied in superior rectus muscles with 4-0 silk to stabilize the globe. During holding the superior rectus muscle by rectus holding forceps, there could be conjunctival tears, subconjunctival hemorrhage, prolapse of superior conjunctival fornix, tearing of the rectus muscle, and globe perforation. Related to conjunctival peritomy and cautery, excessive peritomy increase bleeding and inadequate in wound closure. Improper peritomy, difficult to judge wound depth. Inefficient cauterization leads to perioperative bleeding and difficult to construct wound. Excessive cauterization, fish mouthing and wound leakage. This is the configuration and depth of the sclerocorneal tunnel construction during SICS procedure and different shape. And now incision and tunnel related complications in case of small incisional cataract surgery. Superficial dissection of the scleral flap, there will be buttonhole. If we detected buttonhole, abandon this dissection and re-enter at deeper vein from other side of the external incision. Deep incision, chance of premature entry into the anterior chamber. Once this is detected, dissection of that area should be stopped and new dissection should be started laser depth at other end of the tunnel. This is the figure of phaco incision and complications related to the phaco incision. Long incision, difficult to handle instruments, induce astigmatism and also increase endothelial cell loss. Short tunnel, the corneal valve may not self-seal and resulting in wound leakage. If this incision is too large, shallowing of the anterior chamber, and in case of a too posteriorly placed limbal incision, conjunctival ballooning by balanced salt solution and iris prolapse. Now the thermal wound burn caused by inadequate cooling of the faculty. Heat is mainly produced due to insufficient inflow of coaxial irrigation and occlusion of the outflow faculty. Signs: whitening of the corneal tissue, contraction, and wound cap. This can be prevented by decreased hill buildup at the incision, by high vacuum and low phaco power settings, avoid phaco surgery in high-grade cataract, adequate fluid flow, and perfect construction of the corneal tunnel. Management by sutural closure and patch graft or scleral flap. Descent membrane detachment, repeated entry by phaco probe or second instruments, inadvertent injection of the fluid or ophthalmic viscoelastic device between stroma and descent membrane during stromal hydration and during intraocular lens insertion. Management: small detachment resolve spontaneously, reattachment by air or expansile glass, sulfur hexafluoride tamponade, we can give stasis. Now the shallow anterior chamber cause inadequate infusion, leakage through an oversized incision, external pressure on globe, positive vitreous pressure, posterior fluid misdirection syndrome, and suprachoroidal hemorrhage. Management: careful and precise wound construction, re-inflation with ophthalmic viscoelastic device, raising the infusion bottle height, reduce aspiration, and readjustment the surgical depth for speculum. Check the red reflex for any possibilities of suprachoroidal hemorrhage. Constriction of the pupil cause manipulation of the iris during surgery, diabetic patient, and floppy iris syndrome. Management: avoid manipulation of iris during the procedure, increase bottle height, intracameral use of dilated adrenaline, use viscoelastic substances, and mechanical pupil dilating device. Iridodialysis and iris trauma. This is a tearing of the iris at its insertion. Occurs during the engaging iris tissue at the time of phaco tip insertion, intraocular lens insertion, traction on iris root during aspiration, and during delivery of the nucleus, procedure of small incisional cataract surgery. Management: small or insignificant iridodialysis can be left alone. Extensive iridodialysis requires surgical repair, and iris color contact lens, it's an alternative of non-surgical. This is a picture of iridodialysis. Now the intraoperative floppy iris syndrome. This is a triad: iris billowing and floppiness, progressive miosis, and iris prolapse into the incision. Related complication: iris trauma, posterior capsular rupture, and vitreous loss. Risk factor: current or prior use of selective or non-selective alpha-adrenergic antagonist and other agents having a alpha-adrenergic antagonist properties like chlorpromazine or labetalol. Management: preoperative atropine, intracameral epinephrine or phenylephrine, care for attention to the incision location and construction, use of iris retractor or pupil expansion ring, employment of highly retentive ophthalmic viscoelastic device, maintaining a concave iris near the incision, low flow settings to minimize the anterior chamber turbulence, discontinuation of the fluid inflow prior to withdrawal of the instruments. Lens iris diaphragm retropulsion syndrome. Posterior displacement lens iris diaphragm, marked deepening of the anterior chamber, posterior iris bowing, and pupil dilatation. This commonly occurs in hyperactive patient or surgery becomes very difficult. Management lifting of the iris of anterior capsule is sufficient. Complication related to capsulorhexis, escaping capsulorhexis, small capsulorhexis predisposed to posterior capsular tear, nuclear drop during hydrodissection, jonular dehiscence during nucleus rotation and nucleus prolapse to anterior chamber. Related to complications related to capsulorhexis. Very large capsulorhexis may cause problem for in-back placement of intraocular lens, and eccentric capsulorhexis, intraocular lens decentration at later stage. This is the picture, escaping capsulorhexis. The classical sign is Argentine flag sign. Management, ensure good red reflex. Use stripe and blow in case of poor red reflex. Should maintain anterior chamber depth. During rhexis extension, immediately stop, don't proceed. Start rhexis from opposite side and try to complete it. In case of small rhexis, try to cut at the edge of the anterior capsule. Make an ear, then complete it by rhexis forceps. A small sized capsulorhexis can be enlarged by 2 or 3 relaxing incision. Now the hydrodissection related complications caused by either incomplete hydrodissection or forceful hydrodissection. Incomplete separation of the cortex from capsular bag, jonular dehiscence, posterior capsular tear, and capsular block syndrome. Rupture of posterior lens capsule may accompanied by vitreous loss, posterior migration of the lens fragment, rarely expulsive hemorrhage. This is the picture of different posterior capsular tear. Management, take away foot from foot pedal, remove second instruments, inject dispersive ophthalmic viscoelastic device through the side port, remove the phaco handpiece. Now, carefully evaluate the magnitude of the tear, size, and type of the residual lens materials, and presence or absence of vitreous prolapse. If complete or near complete nucleus remains in the position, conversion to extracapsular cataract extraction, the incision can be enlarged to extract remaining nuclear fragments. If rupture is small, remove the remaining nuclear materials using low flow and low vacuum settings, aspiration of the residual cortex by low flow irrigation aspiration or manually by Simcoe irrigation aspiration cannula. Once the anterior chamber is stabilized, conversion of posterior capsular tear into round posterior capsulorhexis if possible. If vitreous prolapse into the anterior chamber occurs, all vitreous should be removed from anterior chamber and owned with the help of triamcinolone acetonide. Equiaxial low port anterior vitrectomy, 2-port anterior vitrectomy can be done, and intraocular lens implantation. In back, if very small tear in sulcus, multipiece intraocular lens or PMMA lens. In anterior chamber, intraocular lens or iris pro lens with peripheral iridotomy. Closure of the wound including side port by suture. Now the posterior loss of lens fragments. Posterior loss of lens fragments into the vitreous cavity may occur after posterior capsular tear, jonular dehiscence during phacoemulsification. This case should be managed by vitreoretinal surgeon. We need to maintain a normotensive flow, prevent anterior chamber collapse, prevent intraoperative vitreous traction, and avoid fishing or retrieval of the lens fragments. Complications related to irrigation and aspiration. Posterior capsular tear, jonular dehiscence, and iris injury. This can be prevented by avoid blind aspiration, use water jetting technique, leave a small amount of cortical matter if there is a risk of posterior capsular tear, and retain cortical matter can be aspirated later. Now the suprachoroidal hemorrhage cause ruptured posterior ciliary artery. Rare with manual small incision cataract surgery or phacoemulsification, but common in intracapsular cataract extraction and conventional extracapsular cataract extraction. There is a risk factors for advanced age, glaucoma, increased axial length, systemic cardiovascular disease, vitreous loss, and conversion from phacoemulsification to extracapsular cataract extraction. Management. Immediate management, stop the surgery right away. Closure of incision by suture and speed of the closure is the key. Residual ophthalmic viscoelastic device can be left in the eye. Intraoperative sclerotomy should be avoided. Oral intraocular pressure lowering agents can be given to treat pressure spike. Subsequent management, wait 7 to 14 days for spontaneous resolution drainage of the large hemorrhage if not resolved. Completion of cataract surgery may be considered after 1 to 2 weeks. Posterior dislocation of the intraocular lens pressure. It's a rare complications. The entire capsular bag may be dislocated. Posterior capsular dehiscence, insufficient zonular support. Treatment depends on the extent of capsular support. Personal vitrectomy with removal of the intraocular lens and repositioning of or exchange of intraocular lens. The picture showing posterior capsule dislocation of the intraocular lens. Inadequate wound closure. Signs: shallow anterior chamber, hypotony, corneal folding, hyphema. Management: proper stromal hydration. Ensure airtight closure before giving IPES. Stitches to the wound by 10-0 monofilament. Now, femtosecond laser-assisted cataract surgery-related complications: subconjunctival hemorrhage, anterior placed corneal incisions, anterior capsular tear, inadvertent zonular dehiscence due to difficulty in removing cortical matter, perioperative meiosis, and posterior capsular tear. Now, the anesthesia-related complications. Complications may arise related to general anesthesia, topical anesthesia, subtenonal anesthesia, and regional anesthesia. And general anesthesia-related complications, the lots of complication occurs during related to the general anesthesia, and it's handled by general anesthesiologist. Topical anesthesia, it's rare complication, increased rates of endophthalmitis. And subtenonal anesthesia, subconjunctival hemorrhage and conjunctival chemosis. And now regional anesthesia, peribulbar block and retrobulbar block. This is the ideal technique for peribulbar block. Now the complications: lead injury, subconjunctival hemorrhage, muscle damage, retrobulbar hemorrhage, globe penetration, central retinal artery occlusion, optic nerve damage, and oculocardiac reflex. Retrobulbar hemorrhage is a rare complication. Signs: taut orbital swelling, marked proptosis, elevated intraocular pressure, reduced globe motility, inability to separate eyelids, DD chymosis, and conjunctival chemosis. Management: digital pressure, intravenous hyperosmotic agents, aqueous suppressants, lateral canthotomy and cantholysis, localized conjunctival peritomy, and post for the surgery. The globe penetration risk factors are eye myopia, staphyloma, endophthalmos, non-cooperative patient, and fault technique. Point to occur during retrobulbar or peribulbar anesthesia. Signs: pain, loss of vision, and hypotony. Prevention: proper counseling, positioning of the patient. Check ocular movement before injection push. Accurately and gently push the injection. The take-home message: complications are part of surgery. Stay calm. Complications are manageable. Over enthusiasm, it's a trap. Wise to follow standard operative procedure to avoid complications. Thank you. Thank you all for patient sharing.
Well, now I would like to request our moderator to proceed to the next section, please. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sir. And thank you, presenter, for your nice presentation and timely conclusion of the presentation. Now we can move to the second phase. I'll request our students to ask questions to the presenter relevant to this topic.
Hello, Assalamualaikum. I'm Dr. Mohammed Hamidul Mulk. It was a well presentation. I have a question to Dr. Vikas. What are the complications, anesthesia-related complications we face during operation? Not pre-operatively, anesthesia-related complication, but we face during the operation. Please mention.
Thank you for your question. If we use peribulbar block, then it may causes improper anesthesialized globe, like lack of echinacea and ballooning of the conjunctival fluid, during which we will during procedure we will face some difficulties, like we cannot আমরা প্রপার স্পেস পাই না অপারেশন করার জন্য। পেশেন্ট কোঅপারেট করে না যদি একাইনেশিয়া না হবে, স্পেশালি টপিক্যাল অ্যানেস্থেসিয়া রিলেটেড। পেশেন্ট আই মুভ করে, and sometimes subconjunctival hemorrhage.
Do you want to add anything, Dr. Mulk?
Yes, sir, I want to add, due to anesthesia response complication, sometimes IOP increased, intravital pressure is increased, and then power-operative complication may arise.
Yes. Thank you. Next question, please.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you, doctor, for your very nice presentation. My question is, what are the signs of posterior capsular tear?
Thank you. Sudden shallowing or deepening of the anterior chamber, momentary pupillary dilatation, nucleus falls away and cannot be approached by a faculty, marked slowing of the aspiration due to the vitreous into the faculty, and